Thomas and friends, making tracks to great destinations.
Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them because you helped me to make them. Your loving Daddy.
The island of Sodor is surrounded by beautiful blue sea. It has fields of green and sandy yellow beaches. There are rivers, streams, and lots of trees where the birds sing. There are windmills and a coal mine and docks where visitors to the island arrive. The island also has lots and lots of railway lines. Who's that puffing down the track? It's Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor.
Duck in Euston. The island of Sodor has lots and lots of stations, such as Nappert Station, Great Waterton, and of course, London Station. A few months ago, Gordon had to try to go to London Station to see if it was King's Cross still. But as he came to the station, it was called Euston. And that was when he and Duck had a big argument about it until this day. One afternoon, Gordon and Duck was talking to a visitor at the sheds. "I traveled to London back in my younger days," said Gordon. "Do you know the place? The station's called King's Cross." "King's Cross," said the engine. His name was Euston because he was named after the station. "London's called Euston. Everyone knows that." "Rubbish," said Duck. "London's Paddington. I used to work there." "I can assure you," said Euston, "as I was named after it, the station indeed was Euston." "What a silly name, you ask me," said James as he pulled into the shed. "Well, it hasn't been long since I worked there," continued Duck. "The station must still be called Paddington." The good thing about shunters on my railway is that when they know just to keep quiet, matters seem to forgot, much like the station name itself. Duck was incensed. "I do pity you. I celebrate on this island," he continued, looking at Gordon. "It's tending to your idea of what hard work means. And it will take 3 of your express ones to make up mine." "No wonder you forgot the station name. I suggest you come to London and see for yourself, but that will never happen." And Euston puffed away to go do the work. "Pa, well, excuse me, if you hadn't noticed, I came to London, and the station was called Euston, but when I find out..." But Euston was already away. Early next morning, the island of Sodor was blinking into the fog. Duck was carefully preparing the morning train. He had brought the coaches to the platform 1 so that Euston could come collect it. Just then, the station master came up. Sorry, Duck, but can you move these coaches to platform 2? Less points change if his train leaves from platform 1. Sure thing, said Duck, and he soon started moving the coaches to platform 2. And Duck had shunted James's train onto the first platform. And at that moment, Euston came snorting closer through the fog. He backed down onto the station, but not to his coaches. Oh, what are you doing? Asked Duck. Preparing for my train, Euston flatly replied. What does it look like? But that's not your train, Duck tried to explain. It's James's. I thought I made myself quite clear, Euston said, interrupted, about shunters keeping quiet. Now be off with you, Great Western. Can you believe it? Duck fumed to his driver. Well, if that's what you want, then I'll stay quiet. You can learn your own lesson. If that silly engine won't listen to you, frowned Duck's driver, then he'll listen to the station master or Sir Topham Hatt. But unfortunately, the fog came caving into the station. But try as he might, Duck's driver couldn't see the station master, although they have been walked past several times. The fog also means no one else had realized. Euston left, none the wiser. Oh, he'll be in trouble now, Duck said to himself. Duck returned to the shed, still feeling cross. No surprising that Euston ignored me about his train, considering he would have listened about the proper station. Huh, snorted Gordon. In that case, then you two should listen to me. The station is clearly King's Cross. Before Duck could reply, the yard foreman came running. That Euston has gone down a branch line instead of the main line, he said. Gordon, you must take his return train. It can't be delayed any longer. James, while Gordon is doing that job, you can take his express train for him. Oh, well, can I help, sir? Asked Duck. Sure, Duck. Go and fetch the works train. The crews must expect the rails. You could take the goods train to different places and bring that silly engine back. So Topham Hatt will have words for him, I'm sure of that. Duck arrived at the junction. Percy, who was delayed with his trucks until the line could be expected, was telling Euston just what he thought of branch line trains. Euston was speechless. Oh, wait. Some minor repairs needed, announced the foreman. But safe enough to proceed. Off you go, Duck. Duck wasted no time and set off with the train down the main line. When the rails was checked and finished, Percy was able to finish his job. When Duck returned, Euston grimaced at him. Well, he demanded, aren't you going to say anything about this mess? Certainly not, smirked Duck. Us shunters know when to keep quiet. But Sir Topham Hatt didn't keep quiet. He left Euston's controller with no doubt of what he thought of his engine's etiquette, and had a stern talk to Euston and was sent back to his home. I do feel partially responsible, sir, sighed Duck. Well, Duck, some engines will never listen, no matter how hard you try. You did what you could and helped rectify this situation. I am proud of you, Duck. Thank you, sir. Well, there is one thing I wish you would stay silent about, muttered Gordon. I'm telling you, it's Paddington, consisted Duck. As the engines argued, Sir Topham Hatt hurried back to his office, where he knew it would certainly be quiet.
Thomas and Percy are playing hide and seek. Percy is hiding from Thomas. Percy blows his whistle to help Thomas find him. When Thomas is close, Percy's whistle sounds very loud. When Thomas is far away, Percy's whistle sounds very quiet. Where should Thomas look first? At Knapford Station? Thomas listens to Percy's whistle. It sounds very quiet. Percy isn't hiding here. Where should Thomas look next? In Henry's tunnel. Thomas listens to Percy's whistle. It's louder, but it's still not very loud. Percy isn't there, but Thomas is getting closer. Where else can Thomas look? Tidmouth Sheds. Now Percy's whistle sounds very loud. Percy must be hiding in there. We found you, Percy. Well done, Thomas. Thomas has several loads today. First, he must take a load of eggs to the village. There are 2 tracks Thomas could take. One track is long and flat. The other track is bumpy. Thomas knows that eggs break easily. Which route do you think he should take? Yes, the long, flat track. It's much safer for moving the eggs. Thomas is taking care. Now Thomas has a load of chickens to take to the farm. There are 2 tracks Thomas could take. He could take the fast main line, or he could take the slower branch line. Thomas knows that chickens get frightened if they are moved too quickly. Which track do you think he should take? Yes, the slow branch line. It's much better for moving the chickens. Thomas is taking care. Now Thomas has to take this sailboat to the harbor. There are 2 tracks Thomas could take. He could take the windy track along the cliffs. Or he could take the still, calm track through the valley. Thomas knows the sailboat could tip over in a high wind. Which track do you think he should take? Yes, the still, calm track through the valley is much safer for moving the sailboat. Thomas is taking care. Thomas knows being a really useful engine is being a really careful engine. Sometimes when Thomas is thinking, he puffs out a cloud of steam. Look carefully at the shape Thomas makes with his steam. Thomas is thinking about one of his friends. Whose shape is that? This friend has a long tail at the back. And what are these on top? They're rotor blades. Thomas is thinking about Harold the helicopter. Now Thomas is thinking again. What shape is his steam making this time? Thomas is thinking about a person. Whose shape is that? They've got a round body, and they're wearing a kind of hat. Who wears a top hat? Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas is thinking about Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas is thinking again. What shape will his steam make this time? Thomas is thinking about a place. What place is this shape? It has a curved roof and lots of arches. Of course, Thomas is thinking about his favorite place. Home. It's Tidmouth Sheds. Well done, Thomas.